Love in union and love in separation. So when we say Krishna, Krishna, there is separation. Hare, Hare, there is separation. Love in separation. Hare Krishna, Radha and Krishna together at that time. Hare Krishna. Krishna, Krishna. Krishna is in deep separation of Radharani. Hare, Hare. Radharani and the gopis are in deep separation of Krishna. And why is that? Why Krishna, Krishna, Hare, Hare? Why not just Hare Krishna, 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna? Why not? Why Krishna, Krishna? Why Hare, Hare? Because that separation enhances love. Krishna does cause this separation. He gives the utmost pain of separation to these gopis because he wants to increase their love for him. And he wants to increase his love for him. Sometimes we see that when we are separated from somebody that we love, it enhances our love. Let's say if your original country is different from Sweden, and you go visit after 10 years, 20 years, and let's say your parents or your friends come and meet you at the airport, even from far when they see you, you both scream, "Ah!" And by the time you meet, you hug and you cry, and that is what separation has done. But after 5 days, we want to see both of you. What happens? Practical example, that's what I'm trying to give here. So separation, and Krishna doesn't give separation, does such deep separation to everyone. Only to his special devotees, which is the gopis of Raj. And it is just not that the separation is just the gopis. We generally talk only separation of the gopis. What about Krishna? He doesn't feel it, he feels it. And that is why he sent Uddhav. He sent Uddhav to Vraj. The general external meaning is because he wanted to teach him the love of the residents of Vraj. The love is so great because he was a student of Brihaspati, a top-notch student, and he was very learned in Vedas. He knew all the Shastras. He knew all the Vedic conclusions. He was a big scholar. But scholarship has got nothing to do with pure devotional service and love to Krishna. So he wanted to, because he was his good friend, Krishna chose that you go to Vraj. But Uddhav knew that Krishna also was missing them so much. So when he goes and when he comes back, he is also going to bring back news about them. Just like Uddhav went and gave news about Krishna to the gopis and made them think about the gopis. So it was mutual in one sense. So that Krishna, Krishna, Hare, Hare. Also another meaning of Krishna, Krishna, Hare, Hare means that when we chant Krishna, Krishna, we make Radharani very happy. It's all about this. Mahamantra actually is all about Radharani in one sense. She is the center of pleasure for us Gaudiya Vaishnavas. When we say Hare Krishna, we are first addressing Radharani and her entire team. We're trying to please. And when we do that, Krishna is pleased. What a devotee. Wow. He really loves the one that I love the most. Hare Krishna. And when we say Krishna, Krishna, it is not Krishna who gets really pleased that much as Srimati Radharani gets pleased, because Radharani is crazy about Krishna. She even hugs a dark tamal tree thinking it is Krishna. So what to talk about when somebody says Krishna, Krishna? It's like you love somebody and then somebody comes to you and talks about that person or takes that person's name. You're enhancing that person's love for him or her by taking the name of that person. You're showing intimacy. You're expressing your intimacy to Radharani by saying Krishna, Krishna. And what is Hare Hare? You're giving pleasure to Krishna. Because you are reminding them that, oh, all those gopis headed by Radharani, we are thinking of them. Oh, my dear Lord Krishna. So deep this Mahamantra is. And then now the question arises, what is Ram? So, again, the Mahamantra was before even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It was even before Dwapar Yuga. So Ram, somebody's consciousness can be Sri Ramachandra. That's fine. If they want, and Hara is Sita Devi. So if they want pure devotional service to Sita Ram, Mahamantra is perfect there also. But for us, Gaudiya Vaishnavas, Ram means Radharaman. Just before the Gopi Geet, Radharani says, she addresses Krishna as a Hey Nath Ramana Preshtaha. Oh my Lord, oh Raman, one who is sporting with me, where are you? So Ram here means one Raman. Ranjayati Ramyati iti Ramaha. One who sports, especially with the gopis in Vraj, and especially with the special gopi, Radhika. Because nobody played as many games and hide and seek and all of those amorous pastimes with any other gopi than Radharani. So Radharani addresses them as Raman. Raman can also mean the one who played with me day and night, the one who made me crazy. So here, the Ram means even more intimacy. It is not only Krishna, the Nandan, Yashoda Nandan, Gopijana Vallabha, but here it is specifically that Krishna who gave pleasure to Radharani. It gets even more thicker as you chant the Mahamantra. Now you are concentrating more on the one who gives so much pleasure to Srimati Radharani. Ram also means pleasure. There are many derivatives of the meaning Ram in Sanskrit. So one who gives the topmost pleasure to Srimati Radharani is Ram. Ram. When Ram is hiding, Radha Raman is hiding away from Radharani. Radharani is looking, where are you? Hare Hare. Radharani is looking, Radha Radhe. Now, when we chant the Mahamantra, the beauty is in the taste of this nectar of union and separation, union and separation. It is not that it ends at Ram Ram Hare Hare. It doesn't end there. Guess why? Because it's a constant recitation. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So again, separation, union. So that kind of, it's like a nice wave, causing ecstasies of waves. And even if those who chant Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, it all boils down to the same. That is because Kirtanya Sadahari. Kirtanya Sadahari. Non-stop. So when you do that, there is constant separation, union. It is not that at the end, because it is Ram Ram Hare Hare, it is full separation. Can we envision this? Can we focus on this? Because it's not just that we chant Hare, just like any other mantra. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Full stop. The essence of that verse is understood and that's it. But this is perpetual. Right? Makes sense? And that's how the Vraj gopis in the Madhurya Ras. Madhurya Ras is that only ras that gives perpetual separation and union, separation and union, separation and union. In union there is happiness, but in separation also there is an ecstasy that cannot be described, which Mahaprabhu was feeling in the Gambhira. Nama Gaur Kishoraya Sakshat Vairagya Murte Vipralamba Rasambode Padam Bhojayate Nama. This is the pranam mantra of Gaur Kishodas Babaji. Vipralamba Rasambode. He is the ocean of the mellow of separation. He is relishing that ocean of separation, but that mellow. Rasambode, Padam Bhojayate Nama. I offer my respectful obeisances to Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, who relishes that mellow of separation. He is the ocean of that mellow of separation. Prabhupada is that ocean also in that mellow of separation. Leaving Golok, the personal company of Radharani and Krishna, Krishna Presthaya Bhutale. Separation. Separation enhances love. And not everybody is given that high intense separation. Krishna only gives it to a very few selected, Nija, to his very, very own. It's so transcendental in nature. If we analyze it properly and we chant properly, it will be revealed to us. Familiarity breeds contempt, Prabhupada said. If you see that person every day, then there will be eventually some dilution. So this is the Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. The word hara, also another analysis. One who steals away the mood of Radharani. It can also mean Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So when we are addressing, starting with hara, we are first. That is why our Gaudiya Vaishnavas, we just don't approach Radha Krishna directly. Mahaprabhu is so pivotal for us to give us that prema. Har means to steal. Just remember that. Har means to steal. And then these are all grammar. For addressing har, then you call hara or hare when you are addressing. Like if somebody's name is Radha and you're calling, you don't say, "Oh Radha," "Oh Radhe." That is grammar. So hara means the internal energies of Krishna, and you're addressing when you're calling out to them. So it is very clear that you're calling them. And that is why it is hare. You're addressing them. It's like a conversation. You're talking to them. You're asking them. So Sanskrit is amazing. Just from a little bit of little change to the word, you can tell whether one is actually just reciting a name or is one actually addressing that person. So this Hare Krishna Mahamantra means, Radha Krishna, you are here and I'm talking to you. Your presence. But we don't realize that. So Namna Makari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatra Arpita Niyameta Smarnena Kalaha. Mahaprabhu said that there is no hard and fast regulations of how you can chant this. Oh, the Vedas, you have to wake up early in the morning, have a bath, the Gayatri, in the Brahma Muhurat, Trikal Sandhya, 3 times a day, take a bath, do Achaman, and then you can do Gayatri. Dhayanstuam Yashastri Sandhyam Vande Guru Sri Charanaravindam. Sandhya means the confluence of time. So early morning, from night when it changes to early morning in Brahma Muhurat, it's called one Sandhya. The second Sandhya is in the afternoon, when morning changes to afternoon. So around noon time, when the sun is right in the middle of the sky. And then the third Sandhya, the confluence, when that afternoon or evening changes into night or twilight. So there are rules of chanting Gayatri. There are rules of chanting mantras in the Vedas. But Mahaprabhu is so kind. Chant any time. Chant when you're sleeping. Chant when you have not brushed your teeth. Chant when you're in the bathroom. No rules and regulations, my dear friends. Just take to it. Just take to this holy name. But ihajani na anuragaha. I have no taste in it. Mahaprabhu himself is saying that he has no taste in it. So where do we stand? Where do we stand? Because if we had taste in it, then we would feel, Krishna, Radha, you're right here in front of me. I'm addressing you. Like if somebody walks in and we see that two people are talking, just 1 minute, okay? We're having a conversation. Please. Do we do that? When we're chanting and somebody comes, we're very eager to talk to that person. When the phone rings, we're very eager. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. We'll even leave this out. Wherever we left. Like this. Right in the middle. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hello? Because we want to finish. Well, we don't say that, wait, I'm talking to Krishna. Okay? Please wait. It's not the other way. Ihajani na anuragaha. Not interested. Mahaprabhu is taking a very humble position. And now for the internal reason. Why he's saying that he's not interested? Because while chanting, he's not getting the result of Radha Bhav yet. So that means he's saying that I am faulty. Supposing you keep trying on something and you don't get it, that means there is some fault in us. We are not perfect enough. Not yet. So to get Radha Bhav is not so easy. It's the rarest of the rarest. So even Krishna cannot get it so easily. So he's saying that because I don't have interest, Radha, in chanting your names, in pleasing you, that is why I'm not getting the desired result. Not yet. In this stage, when Mahaprabhu is chanting, he still hasn't achieved Radha Bhav. He has not achieved it yet. So that's the internal explanation. And why is there no anurag? Why is there no taste? So Mahaprabhu explains that in the next verse. Trinadapi sunichena taro iva saishnunam amanena mandena kirtanya sadahari. Because we are not humbler than a blade of grass. We are not tolerant than a tree. And we want respect, but we don't want to give respect. So when that happens, we cannot chant the holy name constantly. But when we do become humble, than a blade of grass, when you walk on a blade of grass, it bends down completely. You trample on it. It just says, okay, Baba. No problems. That much humble. Tolerant. We are not tolerant. Tolerant than a tree. Mahaprabhu is giving this perfect example. Sub-zero temperatures, tree will stand, not complain. High 100-degree temperatures, it will not complain. Somebody will come and cut its branches, it will not complain. The same branches that give shade to that same person, No complaints. So, tolerant than a tree. If we don't have tolerance, we cannot become humble. And if we want respect, we cannot become humble. We cannot become tolerant. But if we feel that we are completely useless and we respect everybody else, then automatically there is tolerance and there is automatic humility. Now the goal of chanting the Maha Mantra is to please give me your service. I want to become your eternal servant. I am your eternal servant, but I want to be re-established in that position. So if you're begging, how can a beggar be non-humble? How can a beggar be non-tolerant? Supposing if I want some money and I'm in desperate need, and if I tell you, hey Prabhu, give me some money, man. I talk to you in a very harsh tone. And then you say something, I won't be tolerant about it. Oh Prabhu, don't even talk about this. We know how you are. But give me money. And I'm not respecting you at all. Look, you want to give me money or you don't want to give me money? You rascal. So, how can we become servants? Servant by nature or das by nature is humble. Sometimes it's really funny when devotees also don't get along with each other. That Prabhu is such a rascal. It contradicts. Here you're calling him my master, that means you're a humble servant. And then, so the idea is, Mahaprabhu is very serious about this. That look, if you want to be the servant of the servant of the servant, you be tolerant. Like look at our acharyas, how tolerant they were. Look how Prabhupada, how tolerant he was. He even tolerated the meat in Mohan Agarwal's refrigerator. So much tolerance. He tolerated so much nonsense. Sometimes once in a while, once he caught one pujari smoking. Somebody came. These were all new devotees. Bad habits would not go. Bro, somebody reported that. So, okay, you are smoking. You are silent. Okay, don't do it. Go back to your seva. So if we see someone doing that, oh, call the GBC. Throw him out. Right now. The tolerance should be there. And it's due to tolerance and giving respect to others, we will be very humble. If that humility is not there, then we cannot become that servants. Our reinstatement to a constitutional position is still covered by Maya. It is our desire, but we are not able to. Or maybe we don't desire that intensely. And then why is this? Trinada bisuni chena taro iva saishnuna o manena mandena. Why is it that we are not humbler than a blade of grass? Why is it that we are not tolerant than a tree? Why is it that we are not respecting everyone and expecting respect for ourselves? It's because the next verse answers that question. But prior to that, those who are able to be tolerant than a tree, humbler than a blade of grass, and giving respects to all, and not expecting respect for the self, those are the ones who are qualified to do Kirtanya Sadahari. What is the reason that even when we try to chant our minimum 16 rounds, we are not able to concentrate? Because we don't have these three qualities. That is why we are not able to do Kirtanya Sadahari. Somewhere we are always looking for respect. Oh, the other day I passed him and she was just there by the door. And I opened over, she didn't even say Hare Krishna to me. Oh, she didn't do that. Then you better ignore her. Tit for tat. We don't have tolerance. We want respect. And that is the reason Kirtanya Sadahari is not happening. But for those who are so humble, that constitutional position is achieved, that nature, then there's nothing else that they can do except chant the holy name continuously and in purity, in Shuddhanam. And that is what attracts Krishna. That is what attracts Radharani. Actually, humility attracts everyone. Even the most rascals like Jagai and Madai, seeing Nityanand Prabhu's humility, even they become Vaishnavas. Their hearts melted. Is it true or not? The hardest of the hearts will melt when somebody is humble, tolerant. And when he's always giving respect to them, no matter what. At some point in their lives,
Question?
yeah, go ahead.
By expressing that I have no taste, like in the second verse, I have none rival. So can that be seen as a beginning of humility? Because some may, in more illusion, you might think you are chanting quite okay. While you are not, actually.
Yeah, that's true. That is one level of realization. But even at the higher level of realization, like the more you're advanced, you feel that you're not humble enough. The feel you're not tolerant enough. Like Bhaktivinoda Thakur in all his bhajans, he has expressed that in Sharanagati. Amara jivana sada papirata nahika punya resho. My life is full of sinful activities. There's not an iota of goodness in me. Parera udvega diyaji koto, diyaji jivare klesha. And I always give miseries to others. So there are different levels of realizations. But the main reasons is we cannot do Kirtanya Sada Hari is because we are not tolerant, we are not humble, and we want man, we want respect. And why we want these three things, or why it's not happening? Because we are attached to material things. Dhanam, Janam, Sundarim. If we are materialistic, we are attached to dhanam, money. Janam, we are attached. Those who have given up money, like sadhus or devotional life, but some are attached to followers. I have so many followers. I'm famous. Subtle. It's pratishtha. Dhanam is gross. Janam, followers, is subtle. It is self-aggrandizement. Prabhupada was so humble. We have to see from our Prabhupada's lifestyle. Whenever Prabhupada so many times used to say that my Guru Maharaj has sent all of you young boys and girls to assist me. I'm an old man. I cannot preach this Krishna conscious movement alone. It is my Guru Maharaj who sent you. He never said that you are my disciples in that arrogant of pride. My Guru Maharaj has sent you all. So when that is the case, when Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada, when his disciples offered him obeisances, you know what he said? In a very soft voice, Daso asmi, I am your servant. When a guru, a real guru, when he gets disciples, when he is actually taking a responsible position, he never thinks that it is I who has done it. It is my Guru Maharaj has done it. It is his kripa. So that though that pratishtha doesn't ever come into them, and that is why their purity is so high, that simply Krishna's mercy flows to them unobstructed. So na dhanam, na janam, sundarim. Most of us, we get attracted by the opposite sex. think Prabhupada mentioned this somewhere I heard in one of the lectures many years ago. There was an old man, ready, almost dying at the age of 90 or something like that, or 100 years. And while he's dying, all his bodily functions are not really working as such. But in the room enters a nice, beautiful young nurse, and then his eyes start gleaming. You can see there is like his eyes are opening wider. So the thought of enjoyment is there with the opposite sex. Very extremely hard to overcome. Some of them get caught and some of them don't. Only Krishna knows how much lust we have in our hearts. And sometimes we know how much lust we have. So na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim. Kavita. Now again, sundarim is gross. And kavita means flowery words of the Vedas. Those who study scriptures, those who are jnanis. So they go into the jnana and then they get the pratishtha. I am a scholar. Sarvabhauma, Keshav Kashmiri, give me the certificate that you lost. Digvijay, they want to be Digvijayas. They go from town to town and say, come on, debate with me. Let me see what you got. And if you don't want to debate with me, give me a certificate that I lost. That's kavita. That's on the level of pratishtha. That is on the level of subtle, on the level of the mind and intelligence. Extremely hard to overcome. So na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavita, va, jagadisha kamaye. All these things that are there is for myself, for my sense gratification. But I pray to you, O Lord and Master of the world, please let me be bereft of these. Mama janmani janmani ishwaret bhautat bhakti rahituki. Let me forget all these things and let me be your servant and let me attain your unalloyed devotional service, birth after birth after birth. And then when that happens, when that humility comes in at that point, then you're crying for Krishna. So that goes into the next verse. Ay! Ay! Ay Nanda Tanuja Kim Karo Patitamam Vishame Bhavambudo Kripaya Tava Pada Pankaja Stita Dhuli Sadrisham Vichintaya. To become a real beggar. I have a big baggage of dhanam, janam, sundarim, pratishtha, interested in gyan. How am I going to surrender to you, O Krishna? This principle of sarva dharman paritijya mam ekam sharanam vraja comes in here. When you cry for Krishna's mercy, please, please, I'm just tired of this. I can't get rid of this. Ekha ki amar nahi paibal. I can't get rid of all this nonsense baggage that I have with me, that has accumulated over many, many births. So, Kripaya Tava Pada Pankaja Sthita Duli, please, O Krishna, Ay Nanda Tanuja. Nanda Tanuja means, O son of Nanda Maharaj. Again, Gaudiya Bhav. Kim Karo. Kim Karo means, what does Kim Kar mean?
Somebody close to you.
No. The gopis are known as Kimkaris. Kimkaras. Servants. Servants. What kind of servants? In Sanskrit, Kim means what and Karo means what shall I do? Like we go to a store. What can I do for you, sir? But of course they are paid servants. But this Kim Karo means Krishna, just to please you, whatever you want, will do for you. And only the gopis can do that with the highest magnitude of being Kimkaras. In the Gopi Geet, They sing when Krishna goes away. Ashulka dasika neha kim vada. We are your dasis, your servants, but what? Ashulka. Shulka means non-paid. So now you are simply with your sidelong glances, you're looking at us with so much love, and now you're telling us go back, and now you're saying that, I won't come appear in front of you. Isn't that murder? These are the words that gopis are using. That you're killing us with your sidelong glances, your beauty, and then you just simply leave us in the middle of the forest. Neha kim vada. Indeed, this is murder. So, Ainanda Tanuja Kim Karo, that bhav now, as Mahaprabhu progresses, he is progressing into that gopi bhav as well. He is also progressing into that gopi bhav in this verse. That, oh Krishna, he has got that bhav of the gopis. That is why saying, Ainanda Tanuja Kim Karo. Tell me what I should do to please you. Why have you gone away from me? Internal reason. And for the external reason, for us as sadhaks, I've got this nonsense baggage, Dhanam Janam Sundarim Kavita, attracted to Gyan, to karma, to the opposite sex, to wealth. Please, my dear Krishna, please, oh son of Nanda Maharaj, place me as an atom at your lotus feet, because we know your feet, your lotus feet. Placing as an atom at the lotus feet is a sign of humility. And when we get residence at your lotus feet, then we will be completely protected from Maya, because Maya cannot touch you. And because we are at your lotus feet, we will keep us as an atom at your lotus feet. Maya will not be able to touch us. That is the prayer to Nanda Baba's son. Ai! Crying like a child. Ah, Mama! Ai! Ai, Nanda Tanuja Kim Karo. Do we have that bhav when we are chanting the holy name? And then when that happens, Krishna accepts us. Then what happens? When Krishna accepts you at his lotus feet, surrender comes. And then Nayanam Galad Ashru Dharaya. Now you have gone into that part of ecstasy. Because now Krishna has accepted you and you are bereft of all these material qualities. These three gunas. Then out of ecstasy, because Krishna has accepted you, lots of tears are flowing from the eyes. Samsara dava nalalida loka tranaya karunya ghana ghanatvam praptasya kalyana gunarnavasya vande guno sri charnaravindam Mahaprabhu kirtana nitya gita vaditra madhyan manasorasena romancha kampan ashru taranga. Ashru, tears flowing like rivers. Same bhav. Because they are fully surrendered, Prabhupada, when they chant the holy names, they go into ecstasy. Of course, sometimes they hide it. Most of the time, they don't show it. But one time they said when Prabhupada chanted Jai Radha Madhav, he expressed that. He just could not. His voice started choking. He started crying. But it is advised not to do that in front of the public because you can get misunderstood as a sahajya. Bhakti Siddhanta Prabhupada used to cry. But only few disciples could see that. Not everyone. They could catch that moment when he went into that ecstasy. So in this verse, moving on into the next verse which we are just talking about, Nayanam Galad Ashru Dharaya. Streams and streams of rivers of tears are flowing. Vadanam Gadgada Rudayagira. And the tongue and the voice is getting choked. You cannot even say Krishna. Mahaprabhu could not even say, when he went, he saw to darshan of Lord Jagannath, he would say, Jag, 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 Jag. He could not even say Jagannath. It would not come out from his throat. He would be trembling. His voice would get choked. Nayana gadla ashudharaya. Vadanam gadgada hridaya gira. Shivering of the body. Pulakir nichitam vapukada. When will the shivering or the kampan of the body happen? Tava nama grihaneshu bhavishyati. When you accept me, this is the symptoms that will happen. And that shows the utmost humility. When somebody is crying genuinely, then we can see that the humility is manifest in them. And then, what is the next result? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has now gotten Radha Bhav. Because day and night he is crying in the Gambhira like this, shivering, streams. And now he has attained in the sixth, in the seventh and the eighth verse. He has attained Radha Bhav. He is saying, what is the seventh verse? What is the seventh verse? Yugayitam nimishena chakshusha pravashyayitam. Every moment, nimesh. Nimesh means there's a measurement. We measure time in seconds, minutes, etc. or nanoseconds. Nimesh means the blinking of an eye. The time it takes to blink the eye. Right? We all blink. We don't even realize how many times we blink in a minute or in a second. So even a blinking of an eye, the time it takes to blink an eye, it feels like a whole millennium. Yugayitam nimishena chakshusha pravashyayitam shunaitam jagata sarvam. And I feel that this whole world is empty without you. Oh Krishna. Oh Krishna. Radharani, the gopis feel that way when Krishna disappears. So he has entered into that gopi Radha Bhav. And he feels that now Krishna has disappeared. And it feels like every moment, every split of a second is like a millennium. So he has achieved that bhav of the gopis. And the last verse, Ashlishapadartam pinashtumam adarshanam marmo harto karotuva yatha tathava vidhato lampatum mat prananatha seva parava. Now it is Srimati Radharani speaking. Krishna has achieved that mood. And Krishna has treated those gopis very cruelly in separation. Ashlishapadartam pinashtumam. Oh, you playboy. You can treat us as you want. You can treat me as you want, whether you want to hug me or you want to embrace me. You treat me any way you want. But my love for you will never diminish. That is true love. Unconditional love. The love in this material world is all depending on circumstances. You scratch my back, until then I'll scratch yours. The moment you give somebody, you stop giving them their sense gratification, hasta la vista, baby. See you later. Right? That's why there are divorces. No more. She used to be so nice. She used to give me this. He used to give me this. He used to give me flowers. He used to, give me on my birthday nice gifts. Now he has stopped all that. What's the use then? I'll find a better man. Or I'll find a better girl. See you later, alligator. So, the point being, true love is not like that. Love, so-called love that we use in this material world is only lust. Love can only exist for Krishna. Love can only exist for Krishna, for God. And the pinnacle of love is the gopis. And amongst the gopis is Srimati Radharani. They're saying that we keep ourselves alive. We would have died in separation. Oh Krishna, no doubt about that. But we kept ourselves alive because you know what? You will not be able to tolerate our death. Analyze this statement. You kicked us. You went away from us mercilessly, oh Krishna. And we would have died a long time ago in your separation. We would have not kept ourselves alive, but we thought about you, O Krishna. Because if we died, we don't know what would have happened to you. This is love. Nobody thinks like that. Does anybody show me one example? This is love of God. This is love of Krishna. Krishna was in Vrindavan for 12 years, 13 years tops. After that he left. And he performed his pastimes for 125 years before he wound up. For 112 years he disappeared. And how did the gopis, Nanda Baba, Yashoda Mai keep themselves alive? Just by